I'm Carrie Peters, a recognized thought leader in the Microsoft Dynamics community and a Microsoft MVP for business applications. Welcome to the Get Your New View podcast. Keep listening to learn how we work with frustrated business, central, and NAV users who struggle to use their systems and find the answers that they need. We teach them to truly understand how the system can support their business processes to make immediate and lasting improvements. As a result, they get more done in less time, make better business decisions, and even love their system. In this next season of the Get Your New View podcast, I'd like you to meet Kim Congleton. Kim and I are the co-owners of New View Strategies, and this season, we'll be talking with you all about change management and cheese. Hi, everybody. It's Kim and Carrie, and we are here talking about change management and cheese. And in this episode, we're talking about what happens when you have no cheese. We're going to talk about something different than cheese, but what we want to talk about specifically is what does it look like if you don't have a plan for change management? So, Kim, what's the one word that really comes to mind for you with this?
Chaos.
Yeah, and for me, it's unfinished. So,
Yes.
Right, we've got lots and lots of stories we could tell you about chaos and unfinished projects, but ultimately, no change management plan is really a big indicator that people just aren't on the same page. And I'd love to tell you a story about a company that I worked for, a lemonade stand, years and years ago, and we had a whole lot of very siloed departments with this company. Everybody was doing their own thing. There wasn't a whole lot of communication and sharing going on. And we embarked in some new IT projects. And in the process of figuring out what the priorities were, discovered that 3 separate departments had moved forward with implementing paperless processes with some level of success and some level of not success, but they were all in different phases. And this project actually ended up pulling that together into a single effort and was able to accomplish paperless for the entire company with great success for everybody. But it was a very interesting exercise to untangle what those 3 different departments had made, because of course everybody was invested in their improvement, and everybody either had some level of success or did not, or had were stalled for some reason. But being able to really kind of centralize that and manage that throughout the organization is the thing that finally made that successful. So I know you've had similar situations with other lemonade companies that you've worked with.
Yeah, so probably the one that pops into my mind because it was like the most chaotic, I guess is the good description of it. But I was working with a lemonade stand years and years ago, and we're installing a warehouse management system, and the lemonade stand was like, yeah, we've got a plan for change management. We'll take care of it. You don't have to worry about that. You just focus on the project management and IT side. Okay. So, this was like a 1.5-year project, and, kept checking in. Hey, how you guys doing on change management? Yep. We're good. Okay. You guys having regular meetings? Yep. We're having regular meetings. So 2 weeks before go live, we go out on the floor to train the users on the handhelds, which is not uncommon because there's not much, there's a couple of different operations they have to learn on the handhelds. It's not, it's not like you need hours and hours of training, right? You just need some quick training and then the ability to practice. And so we had plenty of that scheduled over those 2 weeks. But so, I come out to the warehouse and you start going through the spiel, and one guy raises his hand and he goes, so we're getting a new system? And I'm like, why, yes, you are. You're getting a new system in 2 weeks.
Yeah, ouch.
So, yeah. So I got to be the one to tell them about the new system. But, it's just kind of also highlights, like, sometimes people think they have a change management plan, but they don't really maybe know what a good, and I think we're going to talk about this obviously on some other future episodes, about what makes a good change management plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that we see this very frequently with our customers, where probably one of the number one project requests we have is I have a big list of things to accomplish, and I have prioritized them. I know which ones I want to work on, but I don't know how I'm going to accomplish it, right? So helping those customers to figure out how they can use their existing resources or providing some additional resources to help them to be able to get those done is a very frequent request from our customers, and that takes that plan for change management. And oftentimes when we get started with these kind of projects, the thing that we hear is we've had this list for years and years and we just aren't making any progress on it. So those kind of siloed organizations or organizations who are not communicating or not communicating effectively are completely stopping the progress on those unfinished projects. So we often talk about the idea that you can never over communicate. What does that mean, Kim?
I think it means really there's never enough communication, I think. I think that especially between the different groups is really critical. So you brought up silos, and I think silos are one of the most dangerous things to communication within an organization that can exist ever. So how many different companies we've been in where accounting is in this silo, IT is in this silo, and they don't actually talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just making sure that everybody understands the project that you're working on and what it means for each of those groups and what what the expectation is for each group to do and participate in that project. Yeah, you can never do that enough because I think too, maybe we've seen this in a lot of projects where you need to hear things more than once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first time, somebody might hear that there's a new ERP that's going in, and the first thing they do is shut down and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my job."
Yeah.
And so if you don't say the next meeting, "Hey, we're putting in a new ERP. Here's what it means. Here's what this means for everybody in this group, and here's what it's going to do for this group, and here's why we're doing it." I don't think you can say that enough because they need to hear it 2, 3, 4 times because, you never know what they're thinking about that day when you're talking to them.
Right. Yeah. And adults are very fractured and distracted in all the things that they're doing too. We go back and again and again to the idea that everybody who's involved in projects like these has a day job, right? They have their main job, what they're there to accomplish. And of course, we all have to accomplish projects and that kind of thing. But getting people's attention away from their day job is often a challenge. And I think about something that we design into our training when we think about training adult learners and people who are corporate employees, that we always tell them what we're going to tell them, then we tell them, and then we tell them what we just told them, right? And that kind of communication, it's a great example of over communication, and we plan for that because we know that people are probably going to catch 1 out of the 3. But if we've said it 3 times, then at least there's a chance that they've gotten that communication, and that communication really equates to progress then, as long as we've gotten them on that. Yeah, great. All right, here's our action item for this session. Reflect back on your list of unfinished projects, right? If you were to call us with a big list of unfinished projects, what would they be? And what would happen if you would start to apply some planning to finish these, right? So think about what would happen if you apply a plan and think about prioritization, think about timelines, think about available resources, think about maybe resources that you don't have that you could get. What would that unfinished list look like if you applied some planning to it? All right, so we started the episode by saying, what do you do when you have no cheese? So we are going to talk about something other than cheese. We're going to talk about charcuterie. So Kim, what do you have today that is not cheese?
Well, I have a lot of different options here. I mean, my mind is always going to go then to meat because meat and cheese are really my 2 go-to foods besides donuts and cake and anyway. So I've got some prosciutto. I've got some Genoa salami. This is sopressata. And then I have a really cool like Chinese sausage that is really good actually in fried rice. So that's what I have.
Excellent. I love it. I went a little bit different direction. I've got my cheese platter, and I think I'm just going to hold up a couple things here instead of holding up the whole platter. I like the sopressata salami as well, but I don't like to have to slice it myself. I like those extra thin slices. And I've got a whole assortment of olives, so that I always like to put with cheese. So I'm trying not to drip on my keyboard there. Kim and I are going to go away and eat some of our charcuterie. And our next episode, we are going to talk about the master plan for change. How do you put together that cheese board all together? And let's bring it all together with the master plan for change. And we're going to give you some examples from our own company with what we do. We'll see you back on the next episode. I'm Carrie Peters. Thank you for tuning in to the Get Your New View podcast. For more episodes like this on YouTube, click the subscribe button and ring the bell to ensure that you get notified whenever new content comes out. If you're listening to the audio podcast, please share an honest review on Apple Podcasts. If you are ready to rethink today for tomorrow, look for the link below and contact us to speak with our expert team. You won't find the level of no-nonsense real-world experience we offer anywhere else, and we're here to put that experience to work for you. Do you think you could use more features of your software if you just knew how? Are you frustrated with inefficiency that never seems to get better? Did your team ever really get good training to understand how to use your business software? Do you suspect there just has to be a better way and you don't know what it is? We believe every company can benefit from increased efficiency and higher utilization of their software, and that it's possible to have fun while learning exactly how to do that. The experts at NewView Strategies work with frustrated Business Central and NAV users who struggle to use their system and find the answers they need. We teach them to truly understand how the system can support their business processes to make immediate and lasting improvements. As a result, they get more done in less time, make better business decisions, and even love their system. Please contact us at getyournewview.com to get started.